Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show, Red Pill Edition. This afternoon I'm going to get into a topic regarding MGTOW because there are a number of individuals who don't understand what MGTOW is. Some are calling it a movement. Some are calling it a male version of feminism, and there are other accolades that individuals utilize as calling themselves MGTOWs. Now, MGTOW is a philosophy. It is not a hate group. MGTOWs don't hate women. Now, there is a stage of MGTOW called the red pill rage. Now, I don't believe that, because to be red pill means that you understand what's going on in the real world when it comes to this modern day women with regards to relationships, the workplace, the accusations without due process, and so forth. But there are a number of individuals who call themselves MGTOW, but in actuality are incels. I mean, they're very angry people. Now, anger is not going to help your cause. Education is going to help your cause. Every man out here has been hurt by women. But at the end of the day, as a man, if you listen to so many older MGTOWs such as Sandman, Barbarossa, Paul Elam, and there are others out there who took this philosophy and utilized it to teach others. Now, you can give individuals a lesson when it comes to the subject matter, but it's how it's interpreted. Now, a number of individuals who are MGTOW, particularly the younger generation out there, has to continue to educate themselves. Now, I did a video on the stages of MGTOW. Of course, you're going to go through your denial, your anger, your depression, your red pill stage, and your MGTOW. But what you have to do is commit yourself to the philosophy. The philosophy of going your own way doesn't necessarily mean you go ghost from the world. No, you're going your own way to satisfy your own life. You're no longer trying to benefit others. And this is what men have been programmed to do for years. Now, men are fulfilling their own happiness with their hobbies, and they're avoiding what the government says, what's in the media. They're avoiding what's on their job, religion, and education. Again, the 5 power conferences of society are all indoctrinated with feminist Marxism. Well, see, when you can avoid those areas, it's much easier for you to go your own way. And again, to be a red pill man does not mean you hate women. What it means is that you understand the modern female nature. You understand that as a man, marriage is not beneficial to a man. I do not subscribe to that, because when you do business, you have a CBA. It's called a cost benefit analysis. It's rather risky. In fact, do you know, if you have somebody living with you, I'm not even going to go with living with you. If you invite a female over and she feels threaten, particularly if you get in a discussion, you raise your voice. If she calls the police, you can get kicked out of your own house for 60 days. Now, it depends on what state you live in. So, me just putting that information out as a red pill man means that every man needs to understand what's going on out here in the real world when it comes to the system. Doesn't matter if you have money. Doesn't matter if you don't have money. The bottom line when it comes to men are always taught to grow up, whereas women don't have to grow up. This is why a number of women have the narcissistic and immature and the insecure nature about them. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but you have a number of them. And they utilize the shaming tactics to guilt you into dealing with them on their standards. And see, I'm going to do a part 2, and I'm going to list you the types of shaming tactics that this modern day woman will use against men. But continuing on with MGTOW, not being a hate group. MGTOWs do not hate women. MGTOWs are just simply utilizing a philosophy to do what they need to do to enhance their life. And it's nothing wrong with a man fulfilling his own prophecies. Men have built this country. And over the past 100 years, feminism, which comes via Karl Marx, and socialism and communism has infected the biological nature of men. You hear words like toxic masculinity. You hear words like toxic marriages. Everything is blamed on men. Well, it's easy to blame somebody when you don't even have any idea of what a man's nature is. See, when it comes to men, we have to keep on educating ourselves. And the purpose of utilizing this social media platform is to listen to others who have gone through experiences, and we take that information and we can use it for ourselves. And then information that we obtain, we pass it along. See, remember something. Feminism is a political movement. MGTOW is a philosophy. And this is where people are getting mixed signals. They think that MGTOWs and feminists are on the opposite sides of the same coin. Not true. Again, individuals who are calling themselves MGTOW aren't really MGTOWs. They're just incels, just angry at women. They're misogynists. Now again, individuals such as Paul Elam, Sandman, and Barbarossa didn't say anything about hating women. Now, if I'm wrong, just list it in the comment section, because I don't consider myself a full MGTOW. I'm just a red pill man who is educated on what's going on in the real world, and what I'm doing is just giving information to particularly the younger guys about what you need to do to be a better man. Now, the buck is going to stop when it comes to all men at MGTOW, IBMOR, or SYSBM. Why? Because the system is not your friend. And you have to keep on top of what's going on. Now, I'm not going to do any videos about the R. Kelly situation, but I believe R. Kelly was abused himself. And usually, when somebody becomes abused, they then become an abuser. Why? Because they've experienced it And what they're doing, they're replicating it. Now, there are other videos that talk about surviving R. Kelly, but one aspect that I want men to understand is men have also been abused when it comes to domestic violence. You don't hear much about that. The reason why you don't hear much about that is because society doesn't care about men. This is why I'm telling men, you need to understand the philosophy of MGTOW. Use it as a resource, and it's going to help you produce the results that you want. See, life is a red pill or MGTOW or IBMOR or SYSBM doesn't revolve around serving women. It revolves around serving yourself. And that's the philosophy you need to keep. And it is not selfish to want to serve yourself. It's very profitable if you want to serve yourself, because what you have to understand as a man, when we have worked to build a nest egg for ourselves, we don't want somebody to come in there and destroy it, especially if they didn't work for it. But as a man, I want you all to understand that MGTOW is not hate. It's his philosophy. MGTOW is not a political movement. It's a philosophy. It's a philosophy that has men taking themselves away from the system, because the system is against men. And you have a number of men who are part of the system who have been influenced by the Marxist, socialist, communist, feminists. Because a number of these men who are part of the system are also simps. They're simps because they rather be for women instead of being for men. Now, again, when it comes to men, if a man does something wrong, he deserves the justice for what he does. But if he doesn't, he deserves support from other men. But you have too many men who are on board with feminism. So when it comes to we men out here who understand what's going on, we're fighting the feminists and we're fighting other men. So we're fighting a two-headed monster. So at the end of the day, you must understand that MGTOW is a philosophy. And I'm repeating myself because repetition is the mother of all teachings. When you hear it time and time again, you'll absorb it. And if you have the action behind what you're presenting and the action is working, you can influence people to understand the philosophy a lot better. And if you think I'm lying, look what these college professors have done to a number of women and men. They've indoctrinated, particularly the millennials, with a lot of socialism. And big proof is, look at this congresswoman who's a millennial from New York named Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. When you get somebody like that who believes that hardworking people at the top of the pyramid should have 60 to 70% of their wages taxed by the federal government, so the government can redistribute that wealth to people who aren't doing anything for themselves but freeloading, you don't want that person in power. And when it comes to government, this last election had a lot of women in power. Now, I'm not saying that they're not knowledgeable women, but with these cronies of women in the Democratic Party, They want to take. So I'm also urging men, you got to vote with your feet as well. And being a red pill man, you got to be on top of everything around you. That includes other men. Because you have men who I don't consider men, they're boys, because their mindset is emotional, filled with estrogen, just like women, because they were raised around a lot of women. See, a red pill man has killer instinct as well, where a number of men, I call them males or boys who occupy a male adult body. Their mindset is not a man because they're easily influenced and emotional just like women. So, to sum this video up, MGTOW is not about hate. It's a philosophy. See, I'm not here on this platform talking about women all day. I will tell you what they do when it comes to their behavior. But you have a number of women who are good people. What I'm just saying is you have to watch what they do and hear what they say, because at the end of the day, it's not say what you mean what you say. It's say what you mean, follow it with action, then you mean what you say. We always forget that middle. It's the action that follows everything. And the action has to be consistent. Now, consistency could be good or bad. But at the end of the day, real red pill men understand the nature of women. This is why I don't get upset if a woman does something or says something that doesn't make sense. Because a number of them are emotional. They feed off of emotion. They do things that warrant attention. This is why you see a number of them today with all these crazy colors in their hair, the earrings, all these tattoos, all these piercings. Many of them want the attention. They're not about making themselves look beautiful. This is why you have all the fat shaming. Because the beauty standards that men have in women, men are being shamed for. But at the end of the day, if you understand the MGTOW philosophy, you don't have to be a misogynist. You just deal with women in a non-traditional way. In other words, if they're not your wife, you don't have to wine them and dine them. Heck, you don't even have to marry them. You can treat them like peers. You don't even have to have sex with them. The bottom line when it comes to the MGTOW red pill philosophy, it's about you as an individual man who finds his way through a gynocentric system by employing your own happiness. That could be in your job, could be education, no matter what it is. Have a hobby, do some traveling. Because at the end of the day, it's not about focusing your whole life around women. And see, the problem with a number of us men, we do that and we become very disappointed with women's behavior because we don't understand it. But once you understand the nature of women, it is much easier for you to go through life without being stressed, because women can stress you out. Especially if you become deeply emotional when it comes to a woman. Again, MGTOW is not about hate, because I don't hate women at all. I just know how to deal with them on a level that's non-emotional. I don't argue with them. I keep it moving. because I'm enjoying my life. And remember something, you only have one life to live. There are people who are young and old who go every day. And stress is the number one killer. But if you understand that MGTOW, Ibmore, SYSBM is a philosophy instead of a movement, you don't have to be angry. Because again, a number of these MGTOWs, particularly the younger ones, are just angry. Now some call it red pill rage. Correct me if I'm wrong. Put in the comment section. But I know with common sense, when it comes to being red pill, it's about staying on top of your life. You don't need a degree to be red pill. You just need common sense. You need to think logically, critically. You know how to solve problems. But best of all, you need to understand what a man really is. Because being a man is not about serving others. It's about serving yourself. Because happiness isn't going to come to you. You have to make your own happiness. So at the end of the day, as a man, you want peace, not war. And it's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show. If you like what I just presented to you, please comment, share, and subscribe. Once again, my name is Leon Jones. I'm out.